How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video. So on today's episode, working on the Dodge Challenger Hellcat, we're going to be installing the new interior body harness so we can get that interior fully reassembled. Let's jump right into it and get this thing put back together. So all the interior is removed, the seats out, the carpet is out. Next thing on the agenda is removing the glove box because there is one wire lead that goes into the dash up from the floor. And then after that, I'm gonna have to remove the body control module because it blocks access to the door wiring harness that goes through the A-pillar over here. And then I'm gonna have to remove the park and brake pedal bracket that goes up in the dash over there because that blocks access to the wiring harness that goes out for the driver's side door, same way over here. Once that's done, it'll be a pretty straightforward process of just stripping this harness out all the way around into the trunk and then laying the new one back in. After a couple hours of disassembly and cleaning, the old wiring harness is completely removed from the interior, and all the floors, walls, everything in here I've cleaned, vacuumed, wiped down so everything is as pristine as the day it left the factory at Brampton. Now we're going to spend a little bit of time going through and getting the new harness routed in here and getting everything plugged in. We got it in the box right here, and we're going to get it out, start routing it through the trunk and into the body of the car. And I'm going to set you guys up on a time lapse so you can watch basically the nervous system of this thing come back to life. So now we got the harness all routed in the vehicle. Everything is connected. Everything is back where it belongs. And we just went ahead and got the battery connected, so we do have life back in the vehicle. Now it's time to start getting some of this interior reassembled now that the base part of all this work is done with the harness going back in. So I am gonna start now to get the headliner reinstalled in here. Gonna get that put in, and we'll start getting all the trim that we took out before we did the quarter put back in, and we'll go from there. So let's cut to getting that headliner installed and making this thing start to look like a car interior once again. Gone ahead and gotten the windshield and the back glass all cleaned up. All the old urethane is off, and I reattached the alignment clips on both pieces of glass. Now it's time to lay down some new window weld primer around the outer edge of the glass, both pieces, and as well as the pinch welds on the car. Now we're going to install both of these pieces of glass, and I have two new quarter glasses that are going to be going in all at the same time. So let's lay some primer and some window weld and get these things back in the vehicle for last time. guys, we got all of the fixed glass installed in the Challenger windshield. 2 new quarter glasses and the back glass are all installed. Now we're gonna start seeing if we can reassemble some of the interior trim around the back quarters and everything. I do have the seat belts sent out to Safety Restore, so they're gonna get those fixed up and sent back to us. I'm gonna start building the interior back out from the rear because I am still waiting on the passenger dash airbag to come in before I can do the dashboard replacement on this. So I don't want to rebuild any of the stuff up here and put it back in because I'm just going to end up taking it back out again, including the console. But I had to put the console back in order to move the car back in and out of the garage because I needed the shifter to be connected. So I'll start putting stuff back in back here. We should be able to get all the side trim, the surrounds around the windows put in, and the back seat. So we'll get that done, and then it'll be a matter of waiting for the airbag to come in so we can replace the dash. I'm not going to pull the dash until I have that bag so I remember where all the screws go. But in the meantime, we can also go ahead and start working on putting the fenders on and assembling both doors. So we're going to get going on that in the next video. That is going to be the end of today's video. I'm super happy that harness went in, laid out, and plugged in with 0 issues whatsoever. If you guys like this video, like the content so far, and like watching this project come back to life, please feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below, and share it with a friend if you have one that you know will like the rest of this project. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.